I'm looking at recent research data on the secret to a perfect marriage. The secret to a perfect marriage is simple. It's 6 meaningful conversations, 3 long walks, and 2 fights every month. 2 short and 2 longer vacations are mandatory. It's important to say I love you up to 10 times a week, kiss 3 times a day, and embrace 11 times a week. Be proud of your partner in front of others, forgive bad habits, always concede to the other regardless of who is right, and very importantly, to fairly divide household chores. I can now exhale and ask you, what do you think?
All these conditions make up a man's prison. Hang up a big sign on the wall and set a reminder with a loudspeaker announcing it's time to talk about love.
Indeed, it's time to kiss. It's time to bring flowers.
Yes, all this.
Won't work?
You see, it's a habit. It will work. As a matter of fact, if a person does it for a month or 2, he will come to feel, it's been a while since I last brought flowers.
So the habit will become second nature.
It is said the habit is given to us from above, yes?
I remember our last conversation about it, in which you were talking about the institution of husband and wife, the fact that education is necessary.
It is education. It cannot be taken lightly as some sort of secondary schooling, but it has to be nurtured within every family. All forms of media, TV, radio have to incorporate this education.
Nurturing this kind of a family,
Yes,
right?
Movies, anything really works, so it would be absorbed from an early age.
So you support the statement we used to hear. It is a healthy cell of a society. If the family is healthy, then the society is too.
It must be so. You cannot replace it with anything else, no matter what the times are. It evolves from human nature, the real one, which we have lost long ago. Who can withstand it today? People live up to 100 years, 80 of which are with the same partner that you are constantly obliged to.
Well, maybe one can turn this obligation into a benefit. The fact that he's obliged to someone would be to his benefit.
Either way, that's very tough.
Tough?
We run away from our own mother after a few years, you realize that. How long do we live with our mother?
So these cells, these families are falling apart because the individual can't endure the pressure?
He cannot tolerate the limitations he must be obliged to live with.
Then the question, how to tolerate them?
By means of working out a number of variables, one of which is the necessity given to us by nature. Living within this framework, we attain the highest spiritual, eternal state of being. So family represents a kind of an industrial farm in which we work on becoming our higher selves, meaning it is the greatest opportunity, a chance for us to reach the spiritual state.
Wow.
Yes, on condition that it's done right. I don't really talk about it during my lessons because it's not for our present time yet, but it will happen.
That's a high bar.
Secondly, there should be an absolutely clear distribution of responsibilities, opportunities, and reciprocal fulfillment in which children also play a significant role, as they partake in the relationship between husband and wife according to their age, and with the fact that they get to have their own children, grandchildren, and so on. So it's an industrial farm, an entire system.
So the obligation is to raise their children, not to run away from it.
No, of course. It has to incorporate everything. It should be like a huge, complex production system.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yes. But it will happen.
Really?
Yes. Our world won't be able to exist without it, but nature will lead us to it. So we are in for some tough years ahead.
Are there any other variables?
We'll add them along the way.
Tell me, you just spoke about children and their children.
It all grows, develops.
So does that mean 3 generations?
Yes, it has to be so.
Namely 3 generations.
Yes.
And the children should see their grandmothers, grandfathers, and their parents and really feel them.
Yes.
So you've just answered the question, what is an ideal family to you? That's the family that is in tune with...
Ideal is that which will come to be.
That which will come to be?
Yes.
And will be congruent with these conditions?
Yes. At this point, we are nevertheless trying to lay some sort of a foundation of this movement. But it is still very risky to talk about this.
Really?
It appears like we're loading the heaviest responsibilities upon ourselves, you see.
By whom? You or the adolescents?
By everyone. I mean when one could see the inner essence of the person he is with, and the years spent together mean nothing. The appearance means nothing, because everything is determined only according to their inner state. It's an extraordinary world that we're going to build, and it will be spiritual. I won't see the appearance of my partner like I see it today, their habits and so on. It's going to be a continuous renewal between us and within each of us.
Despite the fact we would remain the same as before,
There's nothing new about us. Where would it come from?
yet we continuously find ourselves renewed, correct?
Of course.
The same couple, but it's continuously renewed.
Of course. Not the same, but a new one in a way.
The new one, that's for sure. Actually, I'd like to live in a world like that.
It has to be earned. We're not there yet.